The Chronovisor Chronicles. A race against time. The revelation in the quiet cloisters of the Basilica of San Giorgio Maggiore in Venice. Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a Benedictine monk with an insatiable curiosity and a penchant for invention, had achieved the impossible. Working in secret for years, he had built the Chronovisor, a device that defied the laws of nature by allowing its user to witness past events. Its creation was a testament to Father Ernetti's intellect and a perilous gateway into the mysteries of time. Word of the Chronovisor spread like wildfire, igniting a frenzy of interest and fear. Governments saw the device as a weapon, a tool to manipulate history and outmaneuver rivals. Religious institutions wrestled with the philosophical and theological implications of its existence, questioning God's plan and the sanctity of time itself. Secret organizations, shadowy entities that operated on the fringes of society, sought to seize the Chronovisor for their own nefarious purposes. As news of the Chronovisor reached the public, a young American journalist named Daniel Brennan, hungry for a story that would cement his career, became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind the invention. He sought out Father Ernetti, hoping to gain access to the device and experience its wonders firsthand. The monk, burdened by the weight of his creation, saw in Daniel a kindred spirit, a seeker of knowledge who might help him navigate the moral quagmire he found himself in. Meanwhile, CIA operative Sarah Walker, a woman of unwavering determination and cunning, was assigned to infiltrate the Basilica of San Giorgio Maggiore and assess the Chronovisor's potential as an intelligence tool. Posing as a Vatican scholar, Sarah gained the trust of Father Ernetti and began to understand the immense power the device held. But as she delved deeper into the Chronovisor's capabilities, Sarah began to question her own loyalties and the true motives of her superiors. The Vatican, aware of the Chronovisor's existence but unsure of how to handle the situation, sought counsel from its most trusted advisors. Cardinal Giuseppe Siri, a man of deep faith and pragmatism, urged caution and secrecy, fearing the chaos that would ensue if the device fell into the wrong hands. But Pope John XXIII, a visionary leader with a heart for humanity, saw the potential for the Chronovisor to foster understanding and reconciliation between nations. The Pope's optimism was met with resistance from within the Vatican's own ranks. Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre, a staunch traditionalist, condemned the Chronovisor as a blasphemous abomination, a tool of the devil designed to tempt humanity away from God's grace. Lefebvre's fervor attracted a following of like-minded individuals, forming a faction that sought to destroy the Chronovisor and silence Father Ernetti. As the battle lines were drawn, Father Ernetti found himself at the center of a storm, his creation tearing at the fabric of society and testing the limits of human morality. He confided in Daniel and Sarah, sharing his hopes and fears, his dreams of a world united by knowledge and his dread of the destruction the Chronovisor could unleash. The Chronovisor Chronicles had begun, a saga of intrigue, betrayal, and redemption that would forever alter the course of history. The world watched with bated breath as the fate of the Chronovisor hung in the balance, the future of humanity teetering on the brink. Part 1. The Discovery. Chapter 1. The Secret of San Giorgio. Father Pellegrino Ernetti, his face etched with the lines of a scholar and inventor, adjusted the dials and tubes of his most ambitious creation. The room, hidden deep beneath the Basilica of San Giorgio Maggiore in Venice, hummed with the energy of 1,000 lightning storms contained. This was no ordinary laboratory, it was the birthplace of the Chronovisor. A device capable of piercing the veil of time, the Chronovisor was Ernetti's magnum opus, a testament to his relentless pursuit of knowledge. With a mix of awe and trepidation, he activated the machine. A spectral glow filled the room as the Chronovisor's screen flickered to life, revealing a scene from the distant past. He watched, transfixed, as Julius Caesar strode through the Roman Forum, his voice echoing across the centuries. It was a moment of triumph for Ernetti, a confirmation that his years of toil had borne fruit. Yet, as he gazed upon the spectacle of the past, a deep unease gnawed at his soul. The Chronovisor was a tool of immense power, capable of unraveling the mysteries of history. But what were the consequences of tampering with the sanctity of time? His concerns were not unfounded. News of the Chronovisor's existence had leaked beyond the Vatican walls, reaching the ears of powerful figures who coveted its secrets. Among them was Cardinal Alfredo Ottaviani, a staunch conservative, and a formidable opponent of Ernetti's progressive views. Ottaviani saw the Chronovisor as a threat to the established order, a device that could undermine the Church's authority and expose the sins of the past. In the shadowy world of international espionage, the Chronovisor had also piqued the interest of the CIA. Agent Catherine Shaw, a cunning operative with a reputation for getting results, was dispatched to Venice to investigate the device. Posing as a visiting scholar, she infiltrated the Basilica of San Giorgio, determined to gain access to Ernetti's secret laboratory. Meanwhile, a young Italian journalist named Marco Giordano stumbled upon the Chronovisor's existence while investigating a series of mysterious disappearances in Venice. Intrigued by the rumors of a time-traveling device, he sought out Father Ernetti, hoping to uncover the truth behind the strange events that were gripping the city. As the Chronovisor's secret spread, a web of intrigue and danger began to close in on Father Ernetti. He found himself caught between the conflicting agendas of the Vatican, the CIA, and those who sought to exploit the Chronovisor for their own gain. His invention, intended as a tool for enlightenment, had become a pawn in a high-stakes game of power and deceit. Haunted by doubts and fears, Ernetti sought solace in prayer and contemplation. He questioned the morality of his creation, wondering if he had unleashed a force that could not be controlled. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily upon his shoulders, threatening to crush his spirit. In the midst of his turmoil, Ernetti received an unexpected visitor. A mysterious stranger, claiming to be a representative of a secret organization known as the Chronos Society, offered him a safe haven and the resources to continue his research. But could Ernetti trust this enigmatic figure, or was he merely another player in the dangerous game that had begun to unfold? The Chronovisor Chronicles had begun, a tale of scientific discovery, political intrigue, and spiritual conflict. The fate of the world hung in the balance as Father Ernetti and those drawn into his orbit grappled with the implications of his invention. Would the Chronovisor be used to illuminate the past and guide humanity towards a brighter future, or would it unleash a torrent of chaos that would forever alter the course of history? Only time would tell. Chapter 2. A chorus of doubts. The air within the subterranean laboratory crackled with nervous anticipation. Giovanni Rossi, a wiry physicist with an unkempt mane of black hair, meticulously checked the Chronovisor's complex wiring, his brow furrowed in concentration. Beside him, Aldo Moretti, a stoic engineer known for his meticulous craftsmanship, adjusted the delicate lenses that captured the essence of time. "Are you sure about this, Father?" Giovanni asked, his voice barely a whisper. "The implications of this device. They're beyond comprehension." Father Ernetti paused, his fingers tracing the cold metal of the Chronovisor's frame. The weight of Giovanni's question hung heavy in the air. "I am not sure, my friend," Ernetti confessed, his voice tinged with a hint of melancholy. "But I am compelled to seek the truth, even if it leads us down a perilous path. The Chronovisor is a doorway to the past, a window into the very soul of humanity. We cannot ignore its potential to enlighten and inspire." Aldo, ever the pragmatist, interjected, "But what of the dangers, Father? The temptation to manipulate history, to alter the course of events for personal gain? Such power could corrupt even the most righteous of souls." Ernetti nodded, acknowledging the validity of Aldo's concerns. "Indeed, the Chronovisor is a double-edged sword. It is up to us to wield it with wisdom and restraint, to ensure that it serves the greater good, not the whims of individuals or nations." The three men fell into a thoughtful silence, each grappling with the ethical dilemmas posed by their creation. The Chronovisor was a Pandora's box, filled with both promise and peril. It had the potential to unlock the secrets of the past, to heal old wounds and foster understanding between nations. But it also had the power to rewrite history, to erase mistakes and reshape the world in the image of those who controlled it. Giovanni, ever the idealist, saw the Chronovisor as a tool for social justice, a means of exposing the injustices of the past and holding those responsible to account. Aldo, the cautious pragmatist, feared the unintended consequences of tampering with the delicate fabric of time. And Ernetti, the spiritual seeker, yearned to understand the true nature of existence, to glimpse the divine hand that guided the course of history. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden burst of static from the Chronovisor's speakers. The screen flickered, revealing a distorted image of a medieval battlefield. The clash of steel on steel, the cries of the wounded, and the thunder of hooves filled the laboratory, transporting them to another time and place. "What is this?" Giovanni exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. Ernetti leaned closer to the screen, his heart pounding in his chest. "It's the Battle of Hastings," he whispered. "We're witnessing the Norman conquest of England." As the scene unfolded before their eyes, the three men were awestruck by the power and immediacy of the Chronovisor. They witnessed the bravery of the Saxon warriors, the cunning of William the Conqueror, and the brutal reality of medieval warfare. The Chronovisor had not only transported them to the past, but it had also allowed them to experience it firsthand. The Battle of Hastings was a pivotal moment in history, a turning point that shaped the course of Western civilization. The Chronovisor had given them a front-row seat to this momentous event, revealing details that had been lost to the annals of time. The implications of this discovery were profound. The Chronovisor was not just a tool for historical research, it was a time machine that could change the way humanity understood its past, present, and future. As the echoes of the battle faded, the three men exchanged knowing glances. They had crossed a threshold, venturing into a realm of knowledge that few could even imagine. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with peril and ethical dilemmas. But they were determined to forge ahead, to uncover the secrets of time and to use their knowledge for the betterment of humanity. The Chronovisor Chronicles had begun. Chapter 3. A window to the past. The laboratory fell into a hush as Father Ernetti, Giovanni, and Aldo gathered around the Chronovisor, their faces alight with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The moment of truth had arrived. Ernetti, his hands trembling slightly, reached for the control panel and initiated the sequence. A low hum filled the room as the Chronovisor sprang to life. The screen before them, once blank and lifeless, began to glow with an ethereal light. Then, with a sudden burst of clarity, an image materialized, transporting them to the heart of ancient Rome. The Colosseum loomed majestically in the distance, its massive stone arches bathed in the golden light of a setting sun. The roar of the crowd, the clash of gladiatorial combat, and the smell of sweat and blood filled their senses, as though they were standing in the midst of the arena. "It's working," Giovanni exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "We're actually seeing the past." Aldo, ever the skeptic, remained cautious. "It could be an illusion," he warned. "A trick of the light, a figment of our imagination." But Ernetti knew better. This was no mere illusion, it was a window into the past, a glimpse of a world long gone. The Chronovisor had fulfilled its promise, allowing them to witness history as it unfolded. They watched in awe as gladiators clashed in mortal combat, their swords flashing in the sunlight. They saw the emperor, resplendent in his purple robes, presiding over the games from his imperial box. They even caught a glimpse of the Vestal Virgins, their faces serene and enigmatic, as they performed their sacred rituals. The scene shifted, revealing the bustling streets of ancient Rome. Vendors hawked their wares, children played in the alleyways, and chariot races thundered through the narrow streets. The city teemed with life, its energy and vibrancy palpable even through the Chronovisor's lens. As they observed the daily life of the ancient Romans, Ernetti and his team were struck by the universality of the human experience. Despite the vast differences in time and culture, the emotions and aspirations of the people they witnessed were remarkably similar to their own. They saw love, joy, sorrow, and ambition reflected in the faces of those who had lived centuries ago. The Chronovisor had not only opened a window to the past, it had revealed the common threads that bound humanity together across the ages. It was a humbling and awe-inspiring experience, one that filled them with a sense of wonder and possibility. But their elation was short-lived. As they delved deeper into the past, they began to witness the darker side of human nature. They saw the brutality of war, the cruelty of slavery, and the injustice of oppression. The Chronovisor was a mirror that reflected both the triumphs and the tragedies of the human story. The weight of this realization settled heavily upon Ernetti. He had created a device that could reveal the truth of history, but was humanity ready to face its own darkness? Could the Chronovisor be used for good, or would it simply amplify the worst aspects of human nature? As the first successful test of the Chronovisor came to an end, Ernetti and his team were left with more questions than answers. They had caught a glimpse of the past, but the future remained shrouded in uncertainty. The Chronovisor had the potential to change the world, but the consequences of its existence were still unknown. The path ahead was fraught with peril, but Ernesti and his team were determined to follow it, wherever it might lead. The Chronovisor Chronicles had truly begun.